we are back from the dead. The Apple iPods, I am wearing them. They have revitalised and resurrected. They are the very same ones that they took a trip with us when we decided to flip the banana over in Malaysia and were unceremoniously dunked in the ocean and then submerged while I paddled back to shore, only to discover that, that was a really, really expensive excursion from what I thought was a well-negotiated endeavour. But anyway, time has been favourable and they're working fine. They're kind of better than they were. The battery life seems better and one of the microphones has started working again. So maybe a salt bath is good for your electronics, although I'm not going to recommend it. And why am I doing this video? Well, there is a point and purpose to it, and it is to kind of tick that box and cover the base that we didn't when we got back from travelling. And that was, how much did it all cost? I think that's something that anyone who's been following would like to know, and anyone who's thinking of going for travelling wants to know how much it did cost to go for 9 months, 277 days we were away. We left in April, end of April 2023, and we returned at the end of January 2024. We did spend 3.5 months of that travelling in situ at the Altitude Unicorn over in Telat Plu, where we became local Bangkokians. Although we were still paying for accommodation, we were still going out, we were still eating, it's worth factoring in. We travelled across 10 countries in Southeast Asia, and you can go back and look at all of it because we recorded it faithfully most days, to be honest, and it showed where we stayed, how we travelled, what we ate, what we bought, what we did, and everything in between. So how much did it cost? Well, we had an expectation and budget for spending £75 a day, and we had got a year's worth of travel money in the bank, and we didn't spend it all. We didn't end up traveling for the entirety of that time. So what was the main expenditure? Well, I'm sure you can guess it's going to be accommodation, isn't it? And we stayed in 51 different accommodations ranging from 2 to 5 star, and I got a good feel for what the star rating meant, to be honest. And I'm going to say that I think there's a lot of banging going on outside. The re-roofing across the road, and they do love chucking a tile down from the 3rd floor. But anyway, I'll let them get on with it. It does give me a shock every time. Anyway, how much did it cost? Accommodation. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought now. Where was I? So we stayed in numerous different types of accommodation, and I think 3 or 4 star is kind of where I like to stay. You can do it cheaper. You definitely could do it cheaper, but for me, that was where it was at, really. And we occasionally were lucky enough to stay in 5-star accommodation, and we do need to take into account that the tab was picked up for our stay in Brunei by King Hassanal Bolkiah himself by proxy of his daughter, while Sarah went and taught at her cycle studio. And so that was all free for me as well. They were so generous about that, and that would have cost a lot of money. That would have added a fair few thousand onto the overall expenditure, I'm sure. We ate like kings, and we were treated really well. I loved Brunei, and I can't wait for the invite back. Let's lobby that one. But anyway, accommodation in total, it came to £7,190. And what was the next biggest expenditure? It was transport. So planes, trains, automobiles, buses, ferries, the rental of scooters. That came to £6,055. And again, we didn't do it as expensive as it could have been. We did take a fair few long distance sort of buses across Thailand and things like that, and I think it's worth doing. I think it's definitely gives you a different flavour of a country using the less used, maybe more local kind of styles of transport. And sometimes maybe not those. Sometimes when I was ill, definitely I could have done with that direct flight. That, what was it, over 24 hours with food poisoning. That was. Anyway, that was, then we spent the money on that submarine ride, and anyway, that's painful memories. But But anyway, I think we did pretty well. Sarah was planning that like a master, and she always gets really good deals. And we kind of figured out where we wanted to be in terms of what we wanted to spend. And it wasn't always as cheap as it could be, but it is a way to save a lot of money if you're not going to do flights everywhere. Anyway, let me continue to ramble. Food, drink, and groceries. So we didn't cook for ourselves at all in the 9 months, and we did have cooking facilities in a fair few of the accommodations. No, I lie. We did boil a couple of eggs in Koh Samui, and I struggled to put on the gas, didn't I? But anyway, we got there in the end, and that was the one bit of cooking, if that counts, that we did. But other than that, we ate at where it was available, so street food, restaurants, a lot of 7-Elevens. So yeah, you could spend more. Again, you can go to expensive restaurants. We definitely could have spent more in Japan going to the more expensive restaurants and stuff like that. But we ate well. I didn't actually feel like I needed to eat lots and lots while I was away. It's a hot climate, and I wasn't really training, so I think my food intake was lower than normal anyway. But we ate well. Food was amazing. I do miss it, and I did love it. I miss my Thai green curries and that Thai heat. Yeah, but then the price. I mean, we were looking at a Thai restaurant in Surrey, and it was like they wanted like 16 quid for mango sticky rice. I was like, "Hey, that's not happening. That's crazy. That's absolutely ridiculous." I was annoyed when I had to pay like £1.50 for it, and it's not going to be as good as in Thailand anyway. But anyway, we ate out for a year, so we don't need to eat out for a long time. And I've enjoyed cooking while I've been back, to be honest, and probably healthier. I think I needed it by the time we got back. There's a lot of frying going on in Asia. And what was the next expenditure? So it's going to be activities, and this was a lot less than I thought it would be. So it's all the places we went to see, and the things that we did, like flipping the banana, the boat rides, the excursions, the going up cable cars, up the mountains, and all the amazing things, going to see museums and stuff like that. And it was £1,345. So I think for the amount of memories we made, I think that's money well spent. And the next thing, well, it is, I'm not going to say the most vital thing, but as soon as you land, you want to get a SIM card. It's a game changer. It makes life so easy. Getting places, booking places, translating stuff. Yeah, you need it. And it came to £272 for all the SIM cards. And the last thing on my list is going to be, of course, it's going to be laundry, our trips to see Ottery. And that came to £159, which I think that's relatively good, although it was a bonus when accommodation came with a washing machine, and do look out for that when you are booking, because it's a lot of man hours. If you worked out the amount of man hours that you were going to do the laundry waiting around, it totaled up, and that would be a small fortune within itself. But it was always an adventure. Excuse me. So in total, that came to £19,370, which was £70 a day for the 277 days. But there are a couple of additional extras we're going to throw into the mix, and that is travel insurance. You're going to need travel insurance. It was £870 for the both of us for a year, and our visas, £440 for the both of us. And that was an additional £1,310. So that came to £20,680, which equated to £74.65 per day. So Sarah, you are a budgetary genius. We came under budget by 35p a day. So round of applause, please. And she gets the special prize, which she will be very happy to hear. There are a few other things though, but these are kind of miscellaneous extras that, yeah, we'll chuck in there anyway, as we're going to account for everything we spent. So shopping. So we bought a few things. Uniqlo got a bit of this money, didn't it? £1,586. That surprises me we've spent that much. But anyway, gifts, £109. Don't need to buy gifts for anyone. They'll just be happy to see you on your return. But we did. Personal products, £756. That seems like quite a lot. I only bought a couple of deodorants. What was Sarah buying? I don't know. CBT license, definitely need to do one before you go. That was a game changer. It gave me the confidence to get on a scooter, and I love them. It was so fun. It was so fun and so dangerous at the same time. And as much as I'd like to get one here, I think it's too dangerous and the weather is not good enough to be doing it. So that was £301 to do that. And that came to a grand total of £23,432. But then we could also add in Sarah's treatment. So Sarah's treatment was expensive, and it's not something that hopefully you will ever have to deal with. But that was an additional £3,230. So all in, everything, we paid £26,662. And it does seem like a lot of money for 9 months, although it could be a lot more. And I guess I look at it another way and I think about everything we did, all the memories we made, the experiences we had, and perhaps the horizons that were broadened, and it doesn't seem so much. So yeah, it is what it is. I thoroughly enjoyed it and I would recommend it. And like I say, I think you can do it cheaper if you want. I think you can use our video as a guide of, well, this is how we did it, the level of luxury that we went with. And I guess you can factor in for, okay, whether, well, look, if you're going to be drinking, it's going to be a lot more. Definitely, neither of us drink. I had the odd drink here and there, but it was negligible, really. And I didn't drink at all for the last part, so the odd beer here and there on the beach. But that will dramatically increase what you spend. And I think if you're going out partying, you could double what you spend easily, because drinking isn't cheap. It's still relatively expensive, I think, when you're out in the bars and stuff. So yeah, there we go, all done and dusted, and yeah, hope it's of some help and maybe it informs you on your travels. So yeah, thanks to anyone who is still watching, and thanks for all the comments. Some people have been kind of loyal and they have faithfully watched and commented, and it's always been great to hear your feedback, even many months after having finished our travels. Obviously the videos are released after the fact, and I enjoy watching them here and there and reliving the dream that was travelling Southeast Asia. Yeah, you can tell I had nothing to do with recording the information that went into this video, or even writing out the list that I have been given with that information on, because I turn the page and we have another line of numbers that I think is worth mentioning as well, and it is what the breakdown of each day is per category. So I'm about to sneeze. No, I'm not. There we go. And so for accommodation, we spent £26 a day on average. For food and drink, £16 a day on average. For transport, it was £21. For activities, £5. Communications, £1. And laundry, 60p. So there we go. If only I'd chucked that into the video, that would have been a one bang. Anyway, there we go. Go travelling and keep watching. I don't know if we're going to keep recording stuff. We have done a few days here and there, and I'd like to think that maybe if something interests me, we will pick up the camera and record it. So who knows? Who knows? Let's see. Bye, 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 bye.